Blessings, blessings, and grand risings, everyone. Welcome, welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace. I missed you guys. I haven't been here for a little while. Had to digest everything, and I practiced the Sabbath, and it was amazing. What that goes to say, if you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace. All right, I'm here 3 days a week at least, where we talk in my kitchen. Wait, don't forget where we at. In my kitchen, where we talk about politics, social issues, and all types of stuff. So today, we're going to continue talking about what's going on with ICE, all of the mess that unpacked this weekend. We're going to be talking about Don Lemon, Nicki Minaj crash out, and love and blessings to Lamy, and we're going to put him on the screen right now because that's the good report today. So it's going to be a little long-winded this morning. I want to say thank you for being with us. Please hit the like button as you come in. You know what we do here. Non-biased, we lead with love, and we keep it moving. Let's go.
Story, a federal judge has ordered the release of 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father, Adrian Conejo Arias. The two were detained last week in Minnesota and are now in a detention center in Dilley.
Look
A
at my
photo of
baby.
Liam being detained by ICE officers went viral. KENS 5 reporter Mike Jimenez has details about today's ruling.
Federal District Judge Fred Beery with the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas issued the ruling. He was also critical of the detention of Liam, his father. 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father Adrian Conejo Arias were detained on January 20th while driving home from school near Minneapolis. A photo of Liam surrounded by ICE officers showing Liam wearing a bunny hat and carrying a Spider-Man backpack sparked an outcry across the nation. The images went viral, leading to more protest. Saturday, a federal judge ordered to temporarily block his deportation. After Liam and his father were taken into custody, they were then transferred to an immigration processing center in Dilley. Last week, Congressman Joaquin Castro and Representative Jasmine Crockett visited Liam and his father at the center, where Castro demanded Liam's release. In a statement today, Castro says, quote, "I've reached out to Liam's mom and lawyers to let them know I will continue to do everything I can to make sure he is safe." In Saturday's ruling, Judge Fred Beery criticized the government's pursuit of daily deportation quotas. He wrote, quote, "The case has its genesis in the ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportation quotas, apparently even if it requires traumatizing children," unquote. Beery also cited the government's ignorance of the Declaration of Independence.
I just want to highlight that they finally gave a statement from mom where mom is available, and allegedly they lied to the general public and said that, oh, mom denied to take the child. But this is what they do. And shortly after, they put him on the plane to Texas, less than 24 hours. And this is what we've been highlighting here, how fast they're deporting and transporting people before they even actually have their legal status or before they even get before a judge.
Quoting some of Thomas Jefferson's grievances against a would-be authoritarian king. Beery stated, quote, "We the people are hearing echoes of that history," unquote. After Liam and his father were detained, the Department of Homeland Security said its agents attempted to place Liam with his mother, but claimed she refused and abandoned him, an allegation disputed by the family. Saturday's ruling orders that Liam and his father must be released no later than Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026.
Look at my baby. How could someone look at this innocent face and say, well, your father should have came here legally? Under the circumstances, from what I'm highlighting here, is that his father really doesn't have any criminal background, any real criminal background. So he should not have been held in detention. Again, this mass detention thing is just a step to get us all used to people being locked up, even us, because our goal in America, I thought it was to rehab people and not have people locked up unless they actually committed a crime against someone, okay? Not a paper crime, okay? So shout out to Liam He is so cute. And now we're gonna get to the mess. Okay, let's get to the mess. Now, I didn't know. Did y'all know who ordered Don Lemon and a whole bunch of others to be arrested? Pam Bundy. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God. Here she goes. She's coming up in the news now, guys. Again, so sorry I didn't get my pop-up blockers off. I will be working on that today. But with that goes to say, I'm going to read this article to you because it's allegedly Pam Bundy, the lady in black. I got to come up with another name for her that called for the arrest of Don Lemon and several others. And we're going to get into the other young lady who was arrested as well because she released a statement highlighting that she is a protester or a journalist. Okay. So on Friday morning, Pam Bundy tweeted that at my direction, okay, federal agent arrests Don Lemon, the former. So she's taking responsibility for it. So if something backfired, she's going to be fired. She's next, okay? She's next to be demoted. So the former CNN anchor turned independent journalist who live streamed demonstration entering City Church in St. Paul, Minneapolis on January 18th. Protests chanted, ice out, and justice for Renee, referring to the 37-year-old woman who was murdered by ICE on January 17th. We have an update on her case as well. Protesters chose violence. I'm just playing. They didn't chose that. That's not what they said. It says basically after the protest, the Trump administration tried to charge 8 people, including Lemon, under the 1994 law that prohibits interference or intimidating someone during worship or religious institution. Oh my God. I was trying to figure out how did they get them? Like, okay, because it was freedom of speech. But oh, let's see how this works out. I'm gonna look into this. Oh, it's a backdoor to everything. They're a little bit trifling. They're a little bit trifling. A Minnesota judge approved charges against only 3 people, rejecting the evidence against Lemon and 5 others as insufficient, but they still move forward. So regardless, federal agents took Lemon into custody Friday morning in Los Angeles in his apartment, or not his apartment, where he was at. They did it overnight. Okay, guys, this is how they intimidate you. Okay, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. Instead of investigating the federal agents who killed the 2 peaceful Minnesota's protesters, the Justice Department is devoting its time, attention, and resources to the arrest. And the real indictment and wrongful doing in this case, allegedly connected to Lemon and others, according to his lawyer, Mr. Lowell. Okay. So he said this in the statement. This is his other statement. This is unprecedented. This is an unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the messy crisis facing the administration that is now trying to hide the Epstein files and all of the wrongdoing. We're going to get to that a little bit later. So let's keep this broadcast moving. I just wanted to highlight a statement from his lawyers, kind of give you a little bit of background. Y'all guys already know what happened. But what we do here is that we kind of look at it long-winded, kind of examine what's going on and pick out what may be happening next. So Don Lemon speaks out. Let's put this on play. Thank you for being here with me, guys. As we get our audience in here, our right audience in here. You know what it is. They over here feeling away. And I want to say shout out to, before we keep moving forward, shout out to all of the honorable ICE agents. Again, I haven't mentioned to you guys, I have, but not in this broadcast, that today into tomorrow is actually the anniversary, 3rd-year anniversary of my uncle, who is an ICE agent, who was a retired ICE agent, who committed unaliving 3 years ago. So I did put a reel up so you guys can see him in action. Love and blessings to him and the people who are honorable. But let's get back to Don Lemon, what's going on. And I feel like I speak because every time I get on the screen and y'all see a black face, I'm a black girl. I'm black. That's right. Don't jump off. Let's go. All right, let's go.
Don Lemon. He is facing federal civil rights charges covering a protest at a church in Minnesota.
Blessings, highly favored.
He was arrested in LA and was released this afternoon. NBC4's Macy Jenkins joins us now live in our newsroom with the very latest on the case and also some remarks from Lemon himself tonight. Macy. Well, Kathy, we are hearing from journalist Don Lemon after...
Highly favored. Did you hear that it was Pam Bondi that called for this arrest? Tell me what y'all think in the bottom as far as where is this going to head to when the repercussions come? Because it was Pam Bondi.
Appearing in a federal courtroom this afternoon. He was arrested last night and is accused of conspiracy against the right of religious freedom over his news coverage of an anti-ICE protest in a Minnesota church. But the former CNN anchor says he was exercising his First Amendment right as a member of the free press and will not back down.
This shows you just how divided America is.
This is the moment in a Minnesota church at the center of federal civil rights charges against former CNN anchor turned independent journalist Don Lemon.
Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news.
Lemon walked out of a federal court in downtown LA Friday after a magistrate judge ordered him released on bond. A newly unsealed criminal indictment accuses him of conspiracy against the right of religious freedom and violating a federal law that prohibits people from interfering with the right to attend religious services.
We're going to listen to the federal indictment. It's another content creator who read it, so it made no sense for me to have to bring it up. I watch his YouTube page. We're going to listen like an 8-minute broadcast of the federal indictment. We're going to listen to what they say, okay?
Lemon's attorney calls the move an unprecedented attack on the First Amendment.
I will not be silent.
The indictment alleges Lemon was not just an observer at the January 8th church service in St. Paul, but an active participant who tried to intimidate and oppress the pastor. In Lemon's live stream inside, you can see him interviewing parishioners and a pastor who asks him to leave.
We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ. I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me. I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave.
Lemon identified himself as a journalist multiple times.
I'm just chronically, I'm not with the group. I'm a journalist. They're activists.
Lemon has been critical of the Trump administration, most recently over ICE operations in Minneapolis. Attorney General Pam Bondi speaking out in a video on Friday.
Make no mistake, under President Trump's leadership and this administration, you have the right to worship freely and safely. And if I haven't been clear already, if you violate that sacred right, we are coming after you.
LA Mayor Karen Bass, one of many voices condemning Lemon's arrest.
He should not have been in court anyway. How far is this going to go? We have to draw the line in the sand and say we will not allow for the dismantling of our democracy.
Lemon's attorney says Don has been a journalist for 30 years, and his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. Tonight on his YouTube show, Lemon told viewers he looks forward to his day in court.
So look, I had a question, y'all, because I wanted to piggyback. Someone, when they made this post, shout out to them. I don't want to put their name out there, but they question how is this church performing political practices and the person is an ICE agent, the pastor. So I just wanted to highlight here about 501c3s. They are strictly prohibited to participate or engage in political campaign activities such as endorsing candidates or contributing to campaign. While they can advocate for policies, register to vote in nonpartisan manner, and educate the public, partisan political interventions risk vocating of the tax exemption. Now, I was like, it's another status that this person can have. And that other status, I don't know if this church is under it. It's 501c4. Social welfare organization. I don't know if he worked his way around this because people can't report that pastor. Oh, girl, you already know what we do around the outside. We be reporting people like that. But if he's a 501c4 social welfare organization, they may engage in political lobbying and partisan activity, provided it's not their primary purpose. So let's see what's going on with that, okay? And we're going to move on because there has been another journalist that was arrested as well. And her name is Georgia Fort. So let's put her on the screen real quick because the day that he got arrested, the night he got arrested, she got arrested as well. And she was on Facebook. So let's play this real quick. of Miss Georgia Fort.
You guys, I wanted to alert the public that agents are at my door right now. They're saying that they were able to go before a grand jury sometime, I guess, in the last 24 hours, and that they have a warrant for my arrest. I've talked to my attorney, and I'm being advised to go with them, I guess, now to Whipple. And my children are here. They're impacted by this. This is all stemming from the fact that I filmed a protest as a member of the media.
And again, somebody, please, I'm just going to have to say it. I've been trying to warn people that they were going to be coming after people who made posts on social media, media representative, and not only just by way of lawsuit that Trump was doing, but traumatization. This was all a traumatization ritual at its best. This was all trauma, and this is what they're doing to us. They're traumatizing everyone. And this makes it worse because it's not only our First Amendment rights, but now they're pushing to intimidate people from observing, the observer. This is the new tone. It's not just the protesters that's there, but they're highlighting you observers and transforming them into domestic terrorists.
We are supposed to have our constitutional right of the freedom to film, to be a member of the press. I don't feel like I have my First Amendment right as a member of the press because now federal agents are at my door arresting me for filming the church protest a few weeks ago. Again, I don't have a long time here, you guys, but I wanted you to know, for me, agents are at my door right now. My attorney has spoken with them. I did send a relative outside to talk to them. They're showing some type of documentation, apparently, that they got an indictment from a grand jury. I knew that I was on a defendant's list. I did not publish it because it was under seal. And so we've done everything that we can to try and abide by, the advice of our attorneys. But right now, you guys, I wanted you to know I'm going to have to hop off here and surrender to agents as a member of the press. I filmed the church protest a few weeks ago, and now I'm being arrested for that. It's hard to understand how we have a constitution, constitutional rights, when you can just be arrested for being a member of the press. We've seen all these violations. All right, you guys, I got to go. They're knocking.
All right, so this is when she was turning herself in, and then we have the other clip of her when she was released. But I think this was before. Let's play this real quick. This is before the arrest, I believe.
Said that right-wing agitator Jaden Scott was standing outside of his apartment when he posted this video to X.
Andrew, watch your fucking mouth, bitch boy. Wipe your paws off.
Okay, she was showing this other guy threatening someone else. I'm not into all of that, guys. Just give me a second. I try to ignore all of that nonsense because it brings too much. You give power to that, those people feel emboldened. But this is her after her release. Let's go.
First of all, I just want to thank community. I want to thank community for being here today. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. Thank you to my legal team for showing up and for representing me, and to the media. Thank you for standing in solidarity with independent journalists. I know as an independent journalist, I have challenged us to move forward as an industry. But the fact that you guys stood up for me today shows me that we are moving together. So to all the media who made a statement on behalf of me, thank you so much.
I agree with you, Quantum.
As I reflect, as a journalist who has worked in media for more than 17 years, I leave this federal courthouse today with one question. Do we have a constitution?
Now remember, they have went after big news broadcasts and Trump has won. Now they're trickling down to people who are not totally mainstream, but they have been broadcasting for a long time, been journalists, her, Don Lemon. So imagine just the YouTube content creators and other people out there just talking. That's what I said. Be careful, guys. what you say and how you report, you know, and it's not to be afraid, but it is to know your legal standing and how to maintain your First Amendment rights. Let's finish listening to her, but just see the escalation of what's going on.
Or not.
I should be protected under the First Amendment, just like all of the journalists who I've been advocating for too. I've been advocating for mainstream media journalists who have been brutalized for months. Do we have a constitution? That is the pressing question that should be on the front of everyone's minds. And so to everybody who showed up today, thank you. Please continue to support the other people who are being charged. Obviously, because there's ongoing litigation, there is not much that I can say beyond what I'm saying now. But amplifying the truth, documenting what is happening in our community is not a crime. And the questions that were asked a few weeks ago on a Sunday morning by concerned community members, those questions still need to be answered. And as a journalist, I am committed to continuing to follow the story until their questions are answered.
And those questions is, why is that ICE agent running a church? Okay, and this goes right with the Candace Owens conspiracy that they have infiltrated Christianity, not only Israel, but also, white right-wingers, left-wingers, and China. Okay, I got the proof of that. We're gonna be talking about that. China as well. So let's listen to the indictment. He renamed his channel Class E, but I know it used to be Lawyer something. A shout out to Class E. I want you guys to subscribe to his page. He was tracking the YSL case, and he has detailed breakdown of what's going on with Fannie Willis. I just watch him at this point because it's so overstimulating because there's so much going on. But you know, Fannie Willis' office got ran down on out here. You know, and we'll talk about it because I don't support Trump, and I have some feelings about that. But that lady right there, she's literally crooked. But anyway, that's some of the things that he covers. So we're going to put his information down at the bottom, and we're going to listen to him read the indictment. Okay, let's go. Let's play it real quick. Thank you for being here with us this morning. If you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace. Let's go.
That's what protesting is about, guys. Let's get into this indictment here and see what Don Lemon has going on and what he's looking forward to with the federal government. We've got the indictment. Several people are mentioning here, names you may know, names you may not know. We'll talk about it. So we have the United States of America indictment versus Nikema Armstrong, Chantel Allen, William Kelly, Don Lemon, redacted. We've got Jamel Lundy. We've got Tarhern Cruz, and of course, Georgia Fort, who I mentioned before we're going to get into and talk about in another video. What happened? What went down? The introductory allegations.
Georgia Fort was the lady who we just saw.
All times relevant to this indictment. The city's church, to be referred to as the church, is a church house of worship located in St. Paul, Minnesota. On the morning of Sunday, January 18th at approximately 10:30 a.m., the church's pastor was leading the congregation in their worship service. That service, the church's pastor and the congregation were exercising and seeking to exercise the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship, a right that is also protected by a federal statute that the code is Title 18, United States Code, Section 248. After the service commenced, a group of approximately 20 to 40 agitators, including all of the defendants named in this indictment, entered the church in a coordinated takeover-style attack and engaged in acts of oppression, intimidation, which again is going to be the biggest point, especially when it comes to Don Lemon, threats, interference, and physical obstruction alleged herein. As a result of the defendant's conduct, the pastor and the congregation were forced to terminate the worship service at the church. Congregants fled to the church building out of fear for their safety. Other congregants took steps to implement an emergency plan, and young children were left to wonder As a child, oh man, as one child put it, if their parents were going to die.
Don't fall for that. Don't fall for it. It's all just a write up of the indictment. Shout out to him. He's actually a paralegal, and through his channel you can sign up for the paralegal association that he's connected to. But he's kind of like very conservative. But that's my boy. I think he support Trump. But let's watch this. I like his shout.
So count one. What do we have? Conspiracy against the right of religious freedom at a place of worship. The allegations set forth in paragraphs 1 through 4 of this indictment are realleged and incorporated herein by reference. Object of the conspiracy. We have all these folks here. They conspired, and Georgia Fort's included in that, along with Don Lemon. They conspired and agreed with one another and with other persons known and unknown to the grand jury to injure, oppress, threaten, again, intimidate. It's going to be the key word in my opinion. Multiple persons, including the clergy, staff, and congregants of the city's church, in the free exercise and enjoyment of the rights and privileges secured to them by the laws of the United States, and because of such persons having exercised such right, namely exercise the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of worship, as we know. Manners and means. In order to achieve the object of the conspiracy, defendants Armstrong and Allen, we know what they did. Operation Pull Up. We're looking at what happened with Don Lemon because he's the one everyone is saying didn't do anything wrong. So what did Don Lemon and Georgia Fort do? It said they met at a shopping center for
I agree. I do agree. This is a clown case. I'm writing down some of the terms that they're using, like intimidation, injure, and they have to show this because everything is recorded. And the clip that we saw earlier, you see the gentleman kind of like, I guess he pushed Don Lemon, and Don like, don't push me. And the guy was like, you need to get out. But, these are some of the things that they're going to be using as evidence to prove what they're saying. So let them finish with this clown case. This is intimidation, and this is for people who are observing and reporting to take a whole glass and shut the hell up and basically say you could be next.
Pretty clear to me, as we saw in the video. And they were about the target. They were talking about the target of their operation and providing instruction on how the operation would be conducted once they arrived at the church. Once at the church, all the defendants entered the church to conduct a takeover-style attack and engaged in various acts in furtherance of the conspiracy. What are the overt acts? We had Don Lemon again and Georgia Fort, together with everybody else and the persons known and unknown by the grand jury, committed various overt acts, including but not limited to overt act 1.
Hold on, yo. Wait, I'm gonna let this commercial go by. They have to prove one that it's a conspiracy. So they can't just call something a conspiracy and don't have no lines of communication or connection or recording of these people setting up how they're gonna be going into the churches and things like that. So the whole conspiracy charge, they're gonna have, like realm, or how could I say, circumference of these charges, they're gonna have to prove it. They're gonna have to prove it through evidence.
Armstrong, Nicky Armstrong, she posted about it on Instagram. I thought this was a clandestine operation. Either way, overt act number 2. On January 17th, Allen posted another flyer, and she added Chantel Allen. Chantel Allen posted a flyer. God. Excuse me, on the morning of January 18th, all the named defendants gathered with approximately 20 to 30 other co-conspirators for a pre-operation briefing.
Now, I just said they're going to have to show some form of communication or something between these people that they conspired. And you see what they're using? When you at somebody on a post, you're conspiring with them. This is the, how can I say, the working parts of these charges. So if he loses, this can be used as precedent. That, if you tag somebody in your post, this can be considered conspiring with these individuals. If these individuals that you tag end up at an event and then something go down. I'm just thinking, because I think really hard, y'all. Y'all know what we do here. We use our critical thinking and we kind of deep dive on everything that's kind of going on, so we can make a good decision and not be shocked at what may happen. But yeah, this is a little weird, but I see what they're doing with this case. This fouling.
Defendants Armstrong and Allen at the parking lot of Cub Foods. Okay, so we know where that is. Over at act number 4, at the pre-operation briefing, Armstrong, Kelly, Allen, they advised Don Lemon, Georgia Ford, and the other people about the target of their operation, that they were going to a church and providing instruction on how the operation would be conducted once they arrived at the church. Again, Don Lemon got all this on video, so why we're denying it, I have no idea.
See, he against Don Lemon, but listen to the elements. So this is all on video, and now this just is like the press being aware of a protest that's going on, and the press show up, and the people tell them like, "Hey, this is where we're going to be at this or whatever." I don't know, so they can get good clips. But I don't see how that's the press conspiring with the people who actually set the protest up. But let's go, because me and him going to agree to not to disagree, to disagree. But I like my boy. I like him. Like if we were in a case, we'll literally be talking back and forth to each other. I really love his channel, guys. I'm gonna put his information at the bottom.
Number 5, on the morning of January 18th, Don Lemon's listed here by himself. Defendant Don Lemon began live streaming on his internet-based show, The Don Lemon Show, where he explained to his audience that he was in Minnesota with an organization that was gearing up for a resistance operation against the federal government's immigration policies. And he took steps to maintain operational secrecy by reminding certain co-conspirators to not disclose the target of the operation and stepped away momentarily so his mic would not accidentally divulge certain portions of the planning session. He was a part of this. Don Lemon was a part of this. Then we know what happened with Nikema Armstrong. Don Lemon thanked Nikema Armstrong for what she was doing. He's a part of this. And assured her that he was not saying what's going on. Defendant Armstrong explained that Operation Pull-Up was a clandestine operation in which she and other agitators would show up somewhere that is a key location. Don't expect us and we disrupt business as usual. That's what we're about to do right now. Defendant Don Lemon said he would see her there. Again, we. That's what we're about to do, and we disrupt business as usual. Don, there's no way he's gonna. Do y'all think these charges are gonna stick? I want to know what y'all think in the comments in the chat.
No, because they didn't move forward on the charges prior, before all of this indictment thing happened. So if the judge didn't move forward and they just doing what they want to do, no.
Here for Don Lemon to be held accountable. Before heading to the church to join the co-conspirators, defendant Don Lemon advised his live stream audience that we're going to head to the operation. Again, we're not.
I'm saying y'all, because I like Don Lemon, but baby, that's why you gotta be careful what you say. He did a little bit too much. But let's see, because I want to keep my eyes on this case, because he did say a lot of and we're not gonna tell a location and things like that. And I think, like I said, it's a thin line between reporting and being part of. And I've definitely learned that my last time around dealing with the South Side. Learn to separate my emotions from what was actually happening, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in situations like this. So, I'm listening. That's why I said I'm not mad at. I like to listen to people who I know is going to be in opposition about probably what I say, but I like to hear their perspective, because they're highlighting something that my emotions won't catch. Does that make sense? A lot of you guys' emotions won't catch if y'all Don Lemon supporters. I support Don Lemon, but when you read this, and I'm going to go deeper into it on another day because it's going to move forward. He keeps saying a lot of we. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this could be co-conspiring after the fact. After the fact of them actually getting the plan together. This is kind of what I'm seeing. But again, if the judge didn't move forward originally to indict him, how could they? So let's see.
To give any information away.
Imagine being
Okay, hold on, y'all. I love this. I love this in the morning. Thank you for being here, guys. The people who can handle what goes on here. You know what I do. I talk about things from a critical perspective, not just, reporting news. We kind of like listen to everybody, break it down, make it make sense in the morning while you guys are getting ready for work, whatever y'all doing. I'm here in the background playing while I'm in my kitchen. Let's finish listening to this, and then we're going to be getting into Nicki Minaj, because baby, Trump none Set her ass up. I'm sorry, anyone that set her ass up. Because, Nicki Minaj have a problem with Don Lemon. Like, she hates Don Lemon. Okay? Oh, my God. Let's go. Let's listen to the question. It's a mess this weekend. Just a mess.
Details that would disclose where he and his co-conspirators were heading. At the pre-op briefing, defendants Allen led other co-conspirators in chants that they would use at the church, including "This is what community looks like" and "Ice Out of Minnesota." We know all about that. And Nikema Armstrong, she's not going anywhere. Let's skip down to Don Lemon's part in this again. While en route to the church, defendant X, redacted, told defendant Don Lemon that they had to catch up with the others, and defendant Don Lemon replied, "Let's go catch up." And because he was still live streaming, Don Lemon instructed the other person who was there, and an unidentified male, "Don't give anything away," talking about information into the operation, and advised his audience, we can't say too much. We don't want to give it up. Again, is this someone who's just reporting this, or this is someone who's a part of it and keeping a secret?
Now, this is what I want to highlight, because this is being said. We're going to have to move on, okay? Because this is what's being said. Let's keep this in consideration. I understand what he's saying, as Don Lemon kind of incriminated himself within his live and said "we" and this, that, and the third. But what we brought up earlier, what is the actual status of that church? Is it a 501c3? A religious organization in which that law can be applied to, that they're trying to get them, interrupting religious worship, this, that, and the third? Or are they a 501c3 that we talked about, where they're not a religious organization, but they're like a social construct, okay? And if they fall under that third category, baby, this is not going to stick. And that's where they're going to run it. So the main question of this whole protest was to find out, oops, hold on one second, sorry, was to find out, hold on one second, was to find, I'm trying to press pause, y'all, give me 1 second, was to find out the status of this particular church, why an ICE agent was the pastor, why was this ICE agent practicing political worship of Trump when they're not supposed to do that. Now, before we get into the Alex Petty update and Miss Good update, because we got some good news, we're going to move on into Miss Nicki Minaj, okay? Now, if y'all don't know, Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon have a total beef, okay? They just don't like each other. Nicki Minaj is disgusting at this point, and all times to me, but they just always hit heads. So she came after him on several occasions. But this right here, it just, I was like, that did they lock him up because him and another gentleman made a live and they were talking really bad about Nicki Minaj? Now we ain't gonna play that live. I think All Access Media, the gentleman who they was tearing her a new ass. They talked about her wig, guys, and it's true. I thought they were lying. This lady wig was falling off. She had the white ring on the side of her head. I couldn't even believe it. And I'm not even into that. And when they brought it up, I was like, what? And Nicki Minaj looked like she down bad. So let's watch this right here as she's in the White House praising her Trump. Don't fucking around. Don't fuck around with her Trump.
The best president of all time.
I'm with the queen of rap.
Nicki Minaj posted a picture with a Trump gold card, a new immigration visa that allows foreigners to pay $1 million to expedite their application. She later posted, "Finalizing that citizenship paperwork as we speak for my wonderful, gracious, charming president. Gold Trump card free of charge." Minaj, originally from Trinidad and Tobago, was at the White House to promote Trump accounts.
Well, the only thing is, I'm not a citizen of America. Isn't that crazy? But I've been in the States for many years. You would think that with the millions of dollars that I've paid in taxes to this country, that I would have been given an honorary citizenship many, many, many thousands of years ago.
In 2018, Minaj made a Facebook post criticizing family separation during Trump's first term. "I came to this country as an illegal immigrant at 5 years old. I can't imagine the horror of being in a strange place and having my parents stripped away from me at the age of 5. This is so scary to me. Please stop this." In recent months, Minaj has emerged as a vocal supporter of Trump.
I am.
Look at my baby looking like a whole panda bear. Why she over there looking like that? Go ahead, let's finish watch this. Shane, you said even Even in journalism, the First Amendment has time, manner, place restriction, and the church is a non-public forum, which it is true, but you still can protest. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't know why they ran into the church. I'm going to be honest. You can protest private businesses, things like that. But I just have to be real. I think that was a little bit too much. Y'all know how I feel about protests. Sometimes they do too much. That's why I don't want to play no parts when they get out of hand. So I don't agree with them going into the church. I just have to say that. But then I'm going to look into it a little bit more when we talk about the case and the legalities. And is there any other cases where people actually went into private organizations and protest them? Okay, guys. But I agree with you. Like, it was religious or in private. I don't think they had the right to go in, but I'm going to verify.
Probably the president's #1 fan.
Oh my God.
The hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all.
CNN has asked the White House for more information about Minaj's gold card.
Hello guys, I'm with my favorite president, the best president of all time.
I'm with the king of rap.
These people look tired. I thought my lips looked dry. Lick your lips, Trump. Tired.
Nicki Minaj posted a picture with a Trump gold card. A new
And we're going to get into
that allows foreigners to pay $1 million to expedite their application. She later posted, finalizing that citizenship paperwork as we speak for my wonderful, gracious, charming president. Gold Trump card free of charge. Minaj, originally from Trinidad and Tobago.
See, she's a little retarded. Somebody in the audience said that they MK Ultra her to make her do this, and she think that that card was going to get her citizenship. I'm just going to keep it moving. But guys, you said something about you can't protest inside of a church. Now, we still have to distinguish, was this actual organization a church? If you wasn't here from the beginning, there's a difference when it comes to 501c status. 501cs, you cannot be a institution, or how can I say, nonprofit, and participate in politics. We already know, and that's what the crowd was trying to figure out. But just to highlight again, a 501c4 is a social welfare organization, and they may engage in political, party associations and things like that. So my thing, if this organization, this church, is not a regular 501c and is a religious organization, they are one, they're already going against their 501c status. And I think that's what the crowd is trying to figure out. Or if it's a 501c4 social welfare organization and they not, messed up as far as political actions and being a church, if they're under that status, that means that these charges ain't going to stick because they're not categorized as a religious organization. So we're going to follow up on that, guys, because I think that's something that people may not consider. I like to deep dive and think about stuff, but I'm like, okay, they've been asking for the status, but they're not supposed to participate in these type of political organizations and politics and, loving Trump and possibly being an ICE agent pastor. How did they work around that? So we'll talk about that on a later date, but let's keep it moving. Let's look at Nicki Minaj, and then we're going to see how her fans are reacting as well.
The White House to promote Trump accounts.
Well, the only thing is, I'm not a citizen of America. Isn't that crazy? But I've been...
All right, so let's get to our next clip. And I don't think they did lock up everybody else. Honestly, let's be honest, because it's not 20-something people that's charged. So let's watch this, because this is one of her fans. Nicki Minaj's fans are trying to figure out what to do. And a lot of them are walking away. Let's watch this.
Just meet Trump. She spoke at one of his events, saying things like, I'm the president's #1 fan. And at one point, look at this right here. They were seen holding hands. Trump got to get a better foundation, baby. I can see it.
Yo, and listen, y'all, I had saw that picture, and they lightened up her hand, because I thought that was Melania's hand. I was like, why Melania got them long nails on like that? They had lightened up her hand to make it more appealing. I'll show y'all the picture.
But a lot of fans are asking, why did Nicki suddenly become so publicly supportive of Trump? Well, this all really starts when she previously admitted to coming to the U.S. illegally, and as of recently as 2024, she said she wasn't a citizen. So she may still be seeking citizenship. Her husband is a registered offender. Her brother is currently in jail for SAing someone. She's in danger of losing her house to pay a bodyguard Kenneth allegedly
assaulted. This is from TMZ, and this is all alleged.
And don't forget, yes, she do have pending lawsuit against a bodyguard that her and Petty allegedly jumped, but he got charged for it. This was like 2 years ago, and the bodyguard is suing her.
Could benefit her and maybe get her out of some of these troubles. Might be more to the
Now,
story.
mind you, I just got to give you a little bit more. I think they jumped the bodyguard because Petty got mad at the bodyguard for doing something, being too close to Nicky or some nonsense. So let's just get to this real quick because we're about to move forward and kind of talk about what's happening with Miss Good and also what happened with Miss Alex Pretty.
It's raining.
Now, let's make a little laugh at Trump and Nicki Minaj's relationship because, again, people think that she got MK Ultra because she definitely got played. Let's play this real quick. Okay, about that gold card. Let's see what they got of her.
Suggesting she may have purchased a card that provides fast-track U.S. citizenship after she appeared alongside the president earlier that day to promote his Trump accounts. Minaj captioned the photo, quote, "Welp," showing the physical Trump gold card, which requires a $1 million contribution to the U.S. Treasury and a $15,000 non-refundable processing fee. Minaj is a legal permanent resident in the U.S. and moved to the country as a child from Trinidad and Tobago, though she said in 2024 she was not a U.S. citizen despite paying millions of dollars in taxes. The rapper said she was, quote, "probably the president's #1 fan" during a summit for Trump accounts, a program that, according to its website, seeks to provide, quote, "tax advantage investment accounts for U.S. citizens under the age of 18.
Now let's listen to that, guys, because we're going to be talking about the Trump accounts. Okay, what are they? What they stand for? Would it be effective? Baby, he over here playing with our lives, pulling back Social Security and giving us these Trump accounts. Okay, I wanted to highlight this particular video because I know it sounds like a rerun, but this is what I want to highlight, them Trump accounts, because he's playing with our life. He's playing with our economy and all types of stuff. Imagine 10 years from now when my age group, because I'm 40, goes to retire. Oh, damn, I can't even retire at 50. Let me move forward, guys. This is terrible. Let me go. Let's move
Trump
forward.
said Minaj is investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into the Trump accounts program. To get the $1 million Trump gold card for fast-track U.S. residency, applicants must undergo a background check, attend a visa interview, and submit required documents to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. The $1 million gift goes to the Treasury, along with a small additional fee to the Department of State. Cardholders receive lawful permanent resident status as an EB1 or EB2 visa holder. A $5 million Trump Platinum card will also be available, allowing up to 270 days in the U.S. without taxes on non-U.S. income. Nicki Minaj faced backlash from her fan base after speaking at a Turning Point USA event with CEO Erica Kirk in December.
Wait, y'all see how they give them tax breaks when they come? You see that status come with like a 2-3 year tax break? That's trifling. But I know it's on foreign income. But at the end of the day, they don't do that for us. They don't give us 2-3 years tax breaks.
Characterized her statement about her Christian faith as anti-trans rhetoric. This is a shift for Minaj, who had been an LGBTQ ally and a vocal critic of Trump's immigration policy.
She lost all her fans. That's literally who supported her, the trans community.
Even calling the 2018 family separations at the border scary, and recalling her own time living in the U.S. illegally as a child. Despite recent backlash for aligning with the Trump administration, Minaj stated Wednesday that the criticism, quote, "does not affect me at all." For more on the story, check out the article.
All right. So right now, what we're hearing is that card is not any type of green pass to get her citizenship. I want y'all to listen to this. Trevor knows he ate at the Grammys. Let's just watch this real quick. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me get my broadcasting together. Let's listen to Trevor Knows. I watch him as well. I love him. Got mad love for him. My actual African American. He's from Africa and he shut up, y'all. I'm messing with y'all. I'm not. Let's play it.
Minaj is not here. She is not here.
He got his citizenship.
She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nikki, I have the biggest ass. I have it. Everybody's saying it, Nikki. I know they say it to you, but it's me. Wop, wop, wop. Look.
So if y'all thought that Nikki was blackballed before and she complained about being blackballed, this is the whole Grammys laughing at her. These are, look, John Legend. It's a wrap. I feel so sorry for her because it really wasn't worth it. That's why people was like, she had to be under mind control. That's what her audience is saying because they like, she's smarter than this. How could she do this? And she don't actually have full citizenship status.
Look at it, baby. Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here. She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nikki, I have the...
And you know what those important issues was? To control the black voice.
Nicki Minaj posted
They really truly believe that us as black people are still like, or not still, or we are so into music and we're into star-studdedness that we will follow someone like her to the pits of hell. And that's not happening. I want to watch one more clip of response to Nicki Minaj, and then we're going to get back into our ICE immigration updates when it comes to Miss Good and Alex. Okay, this is All Access Media. Shout out to All Access Media. I watch them as well, guys. Like and subscribe. Let's go.
That the card holds a no legal status. So some people feel like Nicki Minaj then got played. So Nicki Minaj tweeted and said, residency. The COPE is coping, finalizing that citizenship paperwork as we speak. As her, my wonderful, gracious, charming president, thanks to the petition. I wouldn't have done it without you. Okay, citizens, Anika, you are the moment gold trim card free of charge.
My baby confused. My baby is confused.
House later on released a statement saying that the gold card is simply a memento rather than a visa document. And despite Nicki Minaj flexing the card, it literally has no value. It's just a gold card that has Donald Trump's face on it and his name on it. And it appears that Nicki Minaj already has a legal status, like she's in the process of getting her citizenship. A lot of people on social media are clowning Nicki Minaj because she was on stage saying that she was Trump's #1 supporter, and the simple fact that he just gave her a card that meant nothing.
I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. So you mean to tell me that Nicki Minaj got on here telling people, well, I got my Trump card, this gold card of citizenship, and because of my great president allegedly, and da-da-da-da-da, just for the White House to come out and say, oh no, that wasn't citizenship, baby, that was a souvenir for your contribution. They said, thank you for your contribution, girl. That'll be all from you. That'll be all. And you know, what I want people to understand is that when it comes to politics, okay?
Thank you.
Politicians will use you and abuse you for what they need. And once they accomplish what they need, who are you?
Thank you, politricking her ass. So excuse my language. Let's move forward. Now let's get to an update on what is happening with Miss Good and Mr. Pretty. Now it looks like the DOJ will be moving forward on investigating Miss Good's case. And guess who got doxxed, y'all? So we're gonna get into it. The 2 officers that was involved in the death of Mr. Pretty has been put on leave and they've been doxxed. Let's watch it together, guys. We know exactly who they are. I'm not doing anything to them, but I'm just telling you what they're saying on these streets. Let's move forward. You know, I had to put that out there. Let's go.
Following the fatal shooting of Alex Pretty, 2 federal officers who fired shots, ultimately killing Pretty, have been placed on administrative leave, paid administrative leave. This is standard operating procedure when there is an officer-involved shooting. And it comes as ABC News obtained a report that was sent from DHS to Congress that confirms 2 firearms were discharged during the incident. Now, the report also does not say Pretty tried to reach for his gun. We can see in this video here, Pretty's firearm was being removed by an agent even before the first shot was fired. Let's get straight out to Mark Rivera from our ABC
So that proves what we watched that day. What everybody in the audience helped me see, what we all saw, that the gun was removed and they literally murdered him. And it was 2, okay? And we have their names. Let's go.
in Chicago. You are there on the ground in Minneapolis, Mark. So tell us, what do we know about these two officers and the fact that they were placed on paid administrative leave? We did mention that this is standard operating procedure, but what else can you tell us?
Yeah, so Rhiannon, these officers have not been publicly identified yet. And as you mentioned, the administration is stressing that this is a routine.
This was a couple of days ago.
Paid administrative leave after shooting, something that you would see at a police department with a police involved shooting as an investigation plays out. But I would like to note, when a Border Patrol officer shot a woman, an American citizen in Chicago, in a case that we covered extensively, they shot them 5 times. She survived. That officer testified in federal court that he was back on the job within 3 days. So,
and that's Miss, you know who he's talking about? He's talking about Miss Maria from the South Side, who I'm saying, in my opinion, they intimidated to not move forward with her case, with the excessive force case. All of a sudden, you know, everything calmed down and I'm just going to stop. That's who he's talking about. She made it. God, please open her heart so she can move forward with the excessive force case, because her case and all the other cases play a part in the federal review. All right, so let's just watch this.
Here with the reality of how routine these leaves really are.
Wow.
Mark, how is the community responding? You're there on the ground to these recent developments, and in light of the leadership and the change in leadership from Greg Bovino to Border Czar Tom Homan, what are people there saying?
Well, you saw last night protesters chanting "Bye Bye Bovino." Many people elated that Gregory Bovino is now leaving Minneapolis and Tom Homan has come in to lead immigration operations here. But there is a sense of hope from some people that we've spoken to here at the memorial for Alex Preddy, where he was shot and killed by those federal agents. Some sense of hope that there will be change on the tactics that are used by immigration enforcers on the ground. But there is a lot of skepticism as well. President Trump saying that they will de-escalate immigration operations a little bit here in Minneapolis. Some people that we spoke to just don't know what to believe from the president at this point.
Now, guys, I do want y'all to consider this as we continue to talk about this, because we're going to show you the officers. One officer name, and I have a question. I have two things. One of the officers' name is Jesus Ochoa. I'm saying that last name completely wrong. And the last one is Ramando Gortez. These are the two officers' name, okay? I'm going to get to the article because they've been docked. But that says a lot to me, okay? They sound like they are foreign nationals, or they may be what y'all call immigrants, mega. The second thing is I want to highlight in this particular situation is, how do you murder someone or even shoot someone? Justfully, you feel like it's justified, whatever it is, and you only get 3 days off of your job. That's the leave. I don't know if Mega think that is good. Oh yeah, they're still working, they're not going to lose their job. Do you understand the trauma that these people are going through, pretending that they're not going through it? You know why I'm going to talk about this? Because my uncle was an ICE agent and he committed suicide. And God knows what he went through on the job, off the job. I don't know. But I do know that when people don't seek counseling, they don't get time to mourn, to reprocess what happened. It creates a monster, and it creates depression, and it creates a whole lot. Imagine what these ICE officers going through. They're pretending that they are okay. My uncle pretended that he was okay. His life was looking so good. You should see how many people came to the funeral. All of these ICE agents, all of these friends. And I'm saying to myself, I'm just going to be honest before we get into identification, because I have to speak about these people like they're human. To be for real, they're going to need some help. They all around. He got all of these friends, and you still do this. Why? I thought to myself, dang, I ain't going to have all these people at my funeral. I don't got friends like this. But my mental health is not messed up. So just because you think you see people that got a lot of people around them, they're laughing, they're joking, they're pretending that things okay, they may not be okay. We really have to focus on mental health, not only for the ICE agents, the protesters, the families who lost people, but us as Americans, period. That's why I'm at a yield to what I talk about and how I talk about it, because I don't want to re-traumatize y'all. I use this platform to educate, using my critical thinking, and to heal, plain and simple. So just take that in consideration. But the two ICE agents, they were docked, two CBD agents identified in Alex Petty shooting. Okay, so we're going to read this particular article. I hope no pop-ups come up. Let's see. You want to listen to the article? Let's listen to a little bit of it. Please hit the like button. Thank you for being here. If you like how I break down things comprehensively.
By J. David McSwain. It was produced by 11 Labs and NOAA, News Over Audio, using an AI voice and quality assured by NOAA's editors. You can listen to more of the world's best journalist shooters during the deadly encounter last weekend that left Preddy dead and ignited massive protests and calls for criminal investigations. Both men were assigned to Operation Metro Surge, an immigration enforcement dragnet launched in December 2025 that sent scores of armed and masked agents across the city. CBP, which employs both men, has so far refused to release their names and has disclosed few other facts about the deadly incident, which came days after a different immigration agent shot and killed another Minneapolis protester, a 37-year-old mother of 3 named Renee Good. Preddy's killing and the subsequent secrecy surrounding the agents involved comes as the country confronts the consequences of President Donald Trump's aggressive immigration crackdown. The sweeps in cities across the country have been marked by scenes of violence against immigrants and U.S. citizens, by agents allowed to hide their identities with masks, an almost unheard of practice in law enforcement. As a result, the public has been kept from one of the chief ways it has to hold officers involved in such altercations accountable.
So I do want to highlight to the Trump supporter and Mega, where I keep saying police wear masks. They don't. That never been a practice. The only time you saw officers wearing masks and people wearing masks is throughout the COVID. This was never a practice. And we're going to give you an update because the police actually, as I mentioned last week, are starting to intervene against these unlawful arrests. Okay, so let's listen to a little bit more of this as they identify the two assailants who shot Mr. Alex, and we're going to get into a little bit more. Thank you for being here, Miss Grace. Please hit the like button.
Their identity. Both Democratic and Republican lawmakers have called for a transparent investigation into the killing of Preddy, a 37-year-old intensive care unit nurse working at a Department of Veterans Affairs hospital. We must have a transparent, independent investigation into the Minnesota shooting, and those responsible, no matter their title, must be held accountable, Republican Senator John Curtis of Utah wrote on X on Monday, January 26th. The agency sent a notice to some members of Congress on Tuesday acknowledging that 2 agents fired Glock pistols during the altercation that left Preddy dead. That notice does not include the agents' names. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees CBP, said the agents had been placed on leave after the January 24th shooting. And after a week of protests and calls from lawmakers for a review, the Justice Department said Friday that its Civil Rights Division is investigating the shooting. A DOJ spokesperson did not answer questions, including whether DHS has shared materials, such as body camera footage, with its investigators. Ochoa is a Border Patrol agent who joined CBP in 2018. Gutierrez joined in 2014 and works for CBP's Office of Field Operations.
So the last name is Ochoa and Gutierrez. These are the 2 individuals who has been named as the killers of Mr. Alex Preddy. All right, so I'm going to leave this article for you guys because we heard enough. I just wanted them to get to the name, and this is going to be an update on the investigation. And there's a few things that we had to highlight. These people were put on leave for 3 days. That didn't even give them a chance to decompress from them even thinking that they did it rightfully, not rightfully, whatever may be the situation. So I'm going to say this. A lot of the ICE officers, not only are they going to face penalty, jail, and a whole bunch of charges, some of them are going to unalive themselves. I promise you. Some of them are, because what they're putting on these people's heart by forcing them to do this, and I'm not saying that they're forced because they do have a choice, but they're just retarded. Some of them are just retarded and see money. It's going to weigh on their heart. And I'm telling you this from a frontline worker where I had to walk away from the bedside a year and a half, 2 years after COVID, because it wore so much on my heart of everything that I saw before COVID, to COVID, and then till now. And I had to say, what am I going to do? Because I'm going to lose myself in this industry. I'm going to be numb, apathic, don't care, or I'll become depressed. And that's not going to happen. So I'm talking from that perspective. If you don't understand, I really have love for a lot of people, but wrong is wrong at the end of the day, and justice will be served. Now, this just is as we start to bring this broadcast class to a close. I want to say thank you for being here. We're going to highlight what the Minnesota AG has to say, because they're going to say that we're prosecuting these bitches. We're prosecuting them this way.
And of course, this is something that we're investigating, and we are. That's what we would always do in circumstances like this. And so there's an investigation that's ongoing, which I'm not going to talk about. But just look, the problem is an initial reaction to a particular video, one or another. You're talking about one that happened apparently some days ahead of last Saturday. It's an investigation. So an investigation necessarily means just that. It means talking to witnesses. It means looking at documentary evidence, sending subpoenas if you have to. And the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division has the best experts in the world at this. They've been doing it for decades. And so I expect that investigation will proceed with those parameters in mind.
All right. So now we're going to be listening over the past week what Portland mayor says, because he has a message too. Oh yeah, Portland mayor, they still out there mad in Portland. They still have the ICE agents out there. Portland mayor tells the ICE agents, just resign. Let's go. Just resign.
To gather across the city, rallying for ICE to leave following a month full of federal agent-related shootings locally and nationally. Some protesters walked, others biked, riding miles to honor lives lost to ICE detention, then connecting with union members ahead of another big rally. More residents at an apartment complex as well near the ICE facility are fed up with tear gas. We have more on what they want in terms of legal action against the Department of Homeland Security.
This is K2 News at 11 on your side.
Thank you so much for joining us for K2 News at 11, everyone. I'm Barry Mangold. We have a lot to get to after a busy Saturday. Today began with large protests in the Rose City, marching to the South Portland ICE facility to oppose immigration enforcement. Since then, though, we've seen tear gas, a scathing statement from the mayor, and a confrontation ending with a wheelchair-bound man being sent to a hospital. We're going to get to everything right now, beginning in South Portland, where dozens of union members, including Teamsters and the Portland Association of Teachers, marched to the ICE facility from Elizabeth Carruthers Park. They say that they are using their most powerful weapon, withholding labor, to drive ICE out of the city. The demonstration also honored Alex Preddy, the man who was killed last weekend by federal agents in Minneapolis. Another event that may have forced you to stop in traffic for a little longer than you're used to today was bike riders meeting at Irving Park for a ride for all, a vigil for people murdered by ICE. They rode south to Elizabeth Carruthers Park as well, meeting those using gas against peaceful protesters. Look at this. Wilson said in part, quote, "To those who continue to work for ICE, resign. To those who control the facility, leave. Through your use of violence and the trampling of the Constitution, you have lost all legitimacy and replaced it with shame. To those who continue to make these sickening decisions, go home, look in the mirror, and ask yourselves why you have gassed children." Wilson went on to say the city is working to impose a new ordinance that applies fees against detention facilities that use chemical agents, adding, quote, "The federal government must and will be held accountable."
Let's go. So that's what they have to say. This is what the Portland mayor has to say. And we're going to follow up on what's been going on in the ICE facilities. Again, not a lot of people are highlighting the numerous rapes, the kids begging for help. It's so much going on. We're going to be talking about the ICE facilities in detail. But before we get there, we're going to go into why the police are intervening. This is what we're finishing off. Well, we're not going to say why, because we just told you why. They're hitting people in wheelchairs. They're running down on women, pulling them out of car, giving mixed communication when it comes to, he said in the audience, obey the law. How you obey the law when they tell you to do one thing and then you got the other one yelling at you, breaking your window? You don't know what to do. We've seen that plenty of times. So St. Peter police chief intervened and got federal agents to release a resident, sources say. So this is the video we're going to watch of this particular situation. Give me a second as we bring this broadcast to an end. And I'm going to say, y'all, don't be too sad because we still have honorable people who are standing for our rights. Let me see, can I get the video to play real quick? This is the full video of the young lady who was following ICE, as y'all say. Y'all say y'all don't like it, but let's pause it. She was following ICE, making people aware, which is lawful. She had a distance, but let's see what happened.
I think someone needs to call 911. They are seriously like attacking me. We'll call 911 right now. Yep. What's your location? Call 911. I'm right at the corner.
What was voted by Congress many years ago? Discrimination, hate, before civil rights came in? Is that what you're talking about, Steve Mills? Huh? You're talking about, what are you talking about? The Constitution is not being trampled. It's being followed based on what the votes and approved by Congress many years ago. What years ago? When America wasn't great again, when other nations were about to cut y'all off because y'all was still practicing brutal slavery, when everybody moved on and y'all couldn't find a way to move on because y'all needed the workforce. What are you talking about? Let's make it happen, okay? And then y'all released the slave under the second form of citizenship, which is now y'all all fall under the same type of status as what they gave the citizen. You get selected rights because you guys have been fighting under the civil rights that started by the slaves. So y'all right here with it. So when? What Congress are you talking about, sir? Let's be direct, okay? Let's figure out what's going on. All right, let's finish watch this real quick.
Jefferson.
Look at him. Guns drawn. Now, mind you, these people are not Caucasian. Now, y'all white America mega be like, oh, yeah, they taking our job. I think a lot of these ICE agents are foreign national. The name of the two that is involved in Mr. Pretty case is Ramado Gonzalez or whatever, Gonzalez, and Awan Ochara. Come on now. Come on. You ain't mad that you got somebody, a migrant that shot down Miss Good and Mr. Petty? Probably shot down Miss Petty because I don't think they told us who shot down Miss Good, but Mr. Petty, you know who I'm talking about. I got to dig in y'all butt because to listen and watch, when you start watching these ICE agents and one that got in trouble because his status wasn't good, who the fuck are they hiring? Exactly what I was telling you guys. Possible foreign nationals that's not from here. That's why they treat us the way they do. They have no connection to Americans. That's why you seeing the brutality. They run it down with the gun in our face. This is not even standard practice for police. And the standard American, I think, who would take this job would at least try to mimic what they have seen. These motherfuckers coming in, they mimicking something. I'm just keeping it real. All right. I think we got migrants, foreign nationals, playing the role as ICE, and that's why they running down on us. I said it. I bet you that come out. I'm gonna get an 8-ball in a couple of weeks. Watch what happens. Because all of this major hiring, and as we heard that they had hired a news anchor a couple of weeks ago, and she was a leftist, whatever the heck she was. She had a messed up drug test, all types of stuff. And they still hired her, gave her this big old income and listed as an ICE agent when she didn't even follow the protocols to get hired. Ice, baby. Ice, baby. And a lot of I'm just going to finish off. A lot of my Caucasian brothers, Gentile, y'all so fucking lazy. Y'all can't even do this. That's why if y'all in these positions, y'all probably the ones that's busting y'all butt on this ice. Falling on thin ice. Running out with the guns in your hand. No type of combat skills. No de-escalating skills. I'm going to just go off just a little bit because dedicated to my uncle. Because you know what? Before we watch this, my uncle, you see this shirt? This is his name, France Judy. Copland. He loved movies. This was his favorite movie. He also loved Training Day. You know why he loved Training Day? Because he used to train and he knew the importance of training for missions and people being prepared and everybody being safe. And everyone who he locked up, even when he got injured being locked up, he locked them up safely. So that's I'm gonna talk shit. I'm gonna talk shit today. But we almost done. Let's watch this as Ice get played like a whistle by the police. Let's go.
I will not get out of the car. No. No. I will not get out of the car. You guys, I need CEOs here now. No, I will not get out of the car. You can't do this. Get your hands off of me. Get your fucking hands off me. Get your hands off me. I am not doing shit. I am observing.
Now y'all do see that they cut in front of her. So I don't know how she was impeding the investigation. And I will be honest, once they tell me get out the car, you don't have to get out the car. You don't lawfully have to. But I would, and I'll get right in front of the cameras. Literally. Like she has a camera right there. I'll have my phone call 911, get right in front of the cameras. That's why I say people, we got to think a little bit more so we don't get into all of this hostile conflict with these people because that's what they want.
I am not, you cannot arrest me, I'm observing. You can't arrest me, I'm observing. You cannot, I am not. You're taking a video too. Get off of me. Get off of me. Someone call the MP, or someone call the police. Call the police. Call the police. Call them now.
Okay. So this is the full clip that what she caught, and we didn't get the body cam yet. But let's just read how the police intervened. Okay. Give me 1 second. There we go. Let's just read how the police intervened. And let's see what NPR got to say. Okay. So NPR News has learned that the police chief in a small southern Minnesota city of St. Peter's intervened Thursday to prevent the federal immigration agents, from taking a local resident into detention. Although the city of St. Peter's denied the intervention in a statement Saturday, that's weird. They denied it. It's believed to be the first time a local police department in Minnesota intervened in a federal law enforcement action since the surge of immigration enforcement began 2 months ago. The resident woman had been observing and recording video of the immigration enforcement action from her car Thursday afternoon when the agent took her into custody. The woman, who did not want to be identified because she fears for her safety as a U.S. citizen and a resident of St. Peter, she told NPR News in an interview that she was out in the community in her car, tracking the movements of federal agents and recording them on dash cam. She shared the video with NPR News. That's what we just saw. Agents in 3 vehicles began chasing her and trying to force her to pull over. So that's what was happening. Once they was chasing her, I would have been called 911. Eventually, they boxed her in. 3 agents got out of the car in front of her, and they pulled their guns on her. And they tried to force her out of the vehicle. So shout out to St. Peter Police. We're going to get a little bit more about that because Trump don't like that. And I'm telling you that the honorable officers are actually intervening in what's going on. All right. Do I got anything else to share with you guys? I do. As we get off this live today, I want to say thank you so much for being here with Miss Grace. I think your actions are actually breaking down this demon we call Trump. Don't fall for the hype, because Trump is now saying, Trump says federal government won't step into protests in Democratic-led cities until they ask for it. So this is according to CNN. This is where I'm telling you this is a setup for failure. He literally created the chaos in these communities by dumping ICE into them, doing rogue procedures, having people basically protest for their life after numerous people have been killed, injured by ICE. And now he says, you have all of this going on. I told you your cities was fucked up. Now let me know when you need our help. It's the 52 fake out for me. Okay? Don't fall for the hype. What we're going to be getting to this week is some of the Epstein files. I've been a little bit hesitant to go back into the Epstein files because it's a little bit triggering for me. There's a lot of people reporting on it. So I will let you guys know if I do the Epstein files. But most likely I probably won't, but we'll see what happens because I have tried and I feel like it don't sit well with my soul. These are things that I knew for a long time, and it can be very frustrating when you have been trying to warn people around you, your family, friends, that X trafficking go on, and literally you were taken as a fool, ostracized and all types of stuff. So this kind of touched me because not only being affected by sexual assault, but also being almost tried to be discredited by people on the internet, by family members. So I will not be talking about that possibly, but we will get into a little bit of the mess that's around it. So Elon Musk's daughter breaks her silence after he is ousted in the Epstein file, okay? And also the UK Prime Minister says that the Prince Andrew should testify in front of Congress. It's getting kind of ugly. Now, I will report on that. So I won't be going totally into the cases because it really bothers me. But as I mentioned to you guys, I'm here for the mess. I'm going to go off real quick with a short dedication to my uncle. Check out my reel. Love and blessings to my uncle Jamel. He loved being an ICE agent. He loved it. God has it covered. You don't have to worry. God has it covered. You don't have to worry. God has it covered. Let's get it. You guys, I want to say thank you for being here. Have a beautiful day. Sorry that my intro is not playing, my outro, but let's see if we can get it on real quick. My exit, because you know who walks with us. Let's go. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate you. Love you, highly favored. I love you and thank you for all of your support.